Hi guys, I'm at home today because of a blizzard. So I figured I would give a talk to y'all about how to talk to your loved ones on drugs. Now this is a very freaking questionable subject. Everyone reacts a little bit different when approached about their addiction. Now, what you got to keep in mind is what everyone's initial reaction is going to be is to protect their addiction. Addiction happens in the primal brain. It's where we get our need to reproduce, sex, to eat, to breathe. It's our higher being. Now, the same centers are affected in this part of our brain with drugs. It's a carnal pleasure. So the very first thing we're going to want to do is try to protect that. We feel like we need that at the point of addiction. So don't expect them to say, oh, you're right. I do have a problem. I'll stop tomorrow. Oh, never mind. I'll actually throw it away today. That's unrealistic thinking on your part. What you can do with your addict is, number one, and the hardest part, let's not make this about us. So, this is hard, man, because you're noticing the addiction, you're noticing how it affects you, and which in case makes you speculate further on their actions. Now, a lot of people say, oh, take things away, this and that, and be hard on them, and call their dealer on them. We're drug addicts. We're going to find our drug, okay? Regardless of what I think about coming down on the dealers, this isn't about that. We're going to find it. If we have to drive to Green Bay, if we have to drive to Detroit, if we have to fucking drive to Florida, if we had to swim to fucking Australia, we would get our drug. So, what you need to understand is that guttural urge is all motivating. So they're not going to immediately agree with you that the one thing that they look forward to in their life is the thing that they need to lose at this hard point in their life. Don't speculate. Don't be like, I know you use drugs because, or give a motive as to why they may do what they need to do. You don't know why that they do this. This is a personal coping mechanism for problems that they're personally dealing with. Even if you're close to them, you don't know everything about them. Everyone deals with problems differently. And this is how they've chosen to deal with them. If you are their parent, I'm not going to blame you. But understand, they are doing the best they can, even if you don't like what they do. Love the addict, hate the actions. So, what do we do now? Sit them down, tell them what you see. I see that you're not making it to work. I see that your child is not making it to school. I noticed that your fridge was empty. Do you need help with that? Now, that's a very hairy-carry line because your help can easily become enabling. If you pay their rent, that means they got more money for drugs. If you pay their phone bill, well, we use our phone to call up our dealers. Our car, well, there's only one way to go get that shit mostly, because most of the dealers aren't delivering. Some, but not most. So, there's a bevy of things that you can try to do without actually enabling them. Make sure they have food. If they have children, buy the food. Don't give them cash. Anything that you buy from Walmart can be returned. It can be returned and brought back. Food's unlikely. They're not going to want to return $2 worth of items one at a time. But if you go and buy them a new $100 jacket, don't think that bitch isn't going back. Giving your addict a place to live. Now, this can come with consequences if you do this, as there is help with this. Because if there's a warm roof over their head, a meal in their belly, then it's unlikely that it affects them to the level that it will if they don't have those things. So it's a real fine line. There's help for you. They have groups online and groups to help deal with your addict. Someone I know said the best thing she ever had done for her well-being and for her addict brother's well-being was to attend those groups herself, so she learned how to appropriately deal with them. Now, you don't want to do all this extra shit just because someone else can't stop doing drugs. But if it affects you enough that you're approaching them and you can't cut them out of your life, it's now up to you to choose to do something. A lot of people will sit back and speculate forever about what the thing to do is. Proactive actions. You want it to stop. You want it to change. They're clearly not doing anything. You are the hope. So, I always say don't expect too much and you won't be let down. Now, as far as it goes, if there's a way that you can get them into treatment or get them to see the light, that's beautiful. But don't think that's a one-stop shop to end addiction. It's not. I believe what the figures are is 96% failure rate in treatments right now. Okay? That's a pretty high failure rate. Now, some of you are paying out of pocket to go into these treatments, which, although commendable, and if you have the resources, it's beautiful. A lot of you are breaking yourselves to take care of these addicts. The Center for Disease Control, call them. They're who does the funding for the treatments. They can give you a list of treatments. This doesn't happen, oh my God, today, tomorrow. Your state of emergency and their state of emergency are two different things. There's lists to get on, but there's a lot of funding available for this sort of thing. The sad and unfortunate part is most of the people who push the funding and the actions of people getting into treatment is the court system. Now, if you want to talk about resistance to help, add the court on your back. A lot of addicts definitely are not pleased to be pushed into these systems, but they take them as a last-term measure. So then what we're dealing with is a lot of our treatments filled full of people who don't really want to be there. Now, none of that matters if your addict really does want to be there. If, for God's sake, someone is coming to you, talking to you about their problem, and asking for help, whether directly or indirectly, for God's sake, do what you can for them. It might not be everything that they possibly need, but maybe you and your clear mind can turn them on to some of the resources, some of the things to do. I mean, if you're sitting here watching this video and wasting your time watching me, then what I'm guessing is that you care enough to do something. Many, many of our friends and family are affected. It doesn't have to be heroin. It doesn't have to be meth. It could be hydros. It could be Adderall. We are starting this epidemic by drugging our children to a level that they don't even know how to feel comfortable in their own skin. Yet we're shocked when they went from their Adderall to their meth. That isn't overly shocking. Now, I'm not going to point fingers, and don't think if your child's on Adderall and they need it that I am directing this at you, because every situation is different. But when you have a whole generation of people who don't feel comfortable in their own skin, they're going to find solace. Be with them. Find things to do with them. They're going to push you away. They want to be getting high instead. Find something they would like to do with you more than getting high. Good luck. But what you are the one who knows what they like to do. My mom, when I got clean, she brought me my little 5-hour energies and vitamin waters. Now, maybe it isn't monumental, but I knew my mom was thinking of me. And she was doing what she could. And she was trying to support me. Whether it be little measures or huge measures, that means everything. If they want to get clean and they want to do a program and they are actively joining a program, help them take care of their kids, help them figure out the little issues that they think are hindering them from doing this. You can get hard on them if you want. I'm not going to be the person to tell you, don't bust your kids' balls. But listen, next time, may not be a next time. That may be the last time you see your child. These ODs aren't happening accidentally all the time. When you feel trapped and no way out, there's one way out for an addict. And not every overdose is accidental. Many of them are suicide. Don't think we don't know our own tolerances. Don't think good drugs come around on the regular. It's actually quite the opposite. I've overdosed 3 times. 1 time was accidental. The other 2 weren't. My parents, they never got those calls. I made sure they never got those calls. You know, when I was ready to die, I ran away to Detroit to die. Many of you seen those pictures. You know what a dog does when it's ready to die? It runs away from home so no one can see it. That's what this dog did. My parents, they didn't push me away, so to say, but I was ashamed. I didn't want them to see it. I love my mom and dad. I always loved my mom and dad. My bad actions weren't from my lack of love for them. They were from my lack of love of myself. Now, as hard as you want to get on us, we hate ourselves. And we're lacking the human connection. And although we're a huge part of that process, that is what a lot of our issue is. Now, you can tell us to pray to God, but you don't think we fucking thought of that yet? You're not going to give a God solution to people with a spiritual problem. You know, you're not going to find God in the midst of addiction. So, what are you going to do? Let them know that you're there for them. Let them know you love them. Let them know you care about them. Let them know that it kills you that they're doing this to themselves because you care about them. Not because it's ruining your life, but because you care about their life. Let them know you're there for them. Let them know that you will do anything you can for them, minus help them get high. I hope that you don't have to attend your friends and family's funerals. I am trying to save you guys from what I can. I'm not going to go the hard-ass route. It's not that I don't support the hard-ass route. But the deal is I know what would work for me. Although my parents did try everything there was to try, there's different ways that we hear you. And love's the answer. All right, guys. I hope this helped. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Thank you for watching. And I hope you guys give your addict a hug today. Okay, bye.